Hello, and welcome to our workshop today. We're going to be talking about dementia caregiving and why we need to talk. So join our conversation today. I'm going to start off by introducing myself, and then I'm going to ask you to turn to the person next to you and introduce yourself to them and ask the question, why are you here today? My name is Rachel Merrick, and I'm here today because I have a passion for helping others find the resources and help they need to care for a loved one with dementia and its related diseases. At one time, I had both my parents with dementia-related diseases living with me, and I felt like I was drowning. I wasn't getting day-to-day help and support from doctors, and I was struggling to find time to care for me too. So we're going to answer, where can I get help? And when you're in the position to look for help, it's because something doesn't seem right. And we're going to talk about some of those 10 signs when you're caregiving for someone that may be a red flag that you need to seek some help and that they may have some dementia-related problems. So there are 10 things to kind of look for with your loved one that you're helping take care of. Number one, are they having some memory of loss that's affecting their day-to-day abilities? So they're having a hard time remembering new information, or they're forgetting things more than often than normal. Number two, are they having difficulty performing familiar tasks? So they're forgetting to how to prepare a familiar recipe or how to play a favorite game. Number three, are they having problems with language? So they're struggling to find the right word. They're forgetting simple words that they never had trouble remembering before. Or they're maybe substituting a word when they're trying to explain something. Number four, do they have disorientation to time and place? So do they know where they are? Do they know what year it is, and what month or what season? Or do they get kind of confused by that sometimes? Number five, do they have impaired judgment? Like they're not recognizing that they may need to go to the doctor. Are they putting on warm clothes when it's 85 degrees out? Number six, are they having problems with abstract thinking? Are they having trouble balancing their checkbook and not recognizing numbers or phone numbers, or doing simple math problems that's needed for bills? Number seven, are they misplacing things? Not just your normal misplacing something like I forgot where I left my glasses, but they're leaving things in unusual places, like they're leaving their reading glasses in the freezer, or they put the milk in the pantry instead of the refrigerator, things like that. Number eight, they're having changes in mood and behavior, so they're bursting into tears for no reason, or maybe they get really upset about something really simple. Number nine, do they have changes in their character? So if mom normally went to the salon and had her beautician cut her hair, but she doesn't want to go out anymore, and she's perfectly fine with you cutting her hair, which she never would have been okay with before. Or, you know, mom was a social butterfly, but now she doesn't want to go anywhere or meet any of her friends. That would be a concern. Is your loved one experiencing a loss of initiative? So do they need cues to become involved in their normal routines? Are they disinterested or passive about things that they never were before? Those are just some things to look at and consider with your loved one. And now I'm going to go over just a few resources. There are numerous resources for people with dementia or Alzheimer's or any other related disease that has dementia symptoms. And we're going to start out with the website of the National Institute on Aging. And they have Alzheimer's and related dementia education, and they're a referral center, so they're a fantastic resource on every aspect of dementia. They have an in the news section on the latest news about Alzheimer's and dementia. They have information on dementia. They have resources and numerous article links. And there's also helpful information for things for caregivers specifically. Great resource. There's a specific website for Alzheimer's. It's a government website, and they have multiple resources for general information on Alzheimer's for caregivers and for health professionals. They also have some information on how to participate in clinical trials. We still don't know a lot about Alzheimer's and dementia. They're coming up with some new things all the time, but for a disease that is in the top 10 related to death in the United States, we don't have a cure for it. And so it's something that we can continue to do research on and learn new things about so that we can maybe prevent or help slow the progression of this disease. So this is a wonderful resource for those Alzheimer's specific disease. And the third one that I'd like you to take a look at is the Family Caregiver Alliance. And it's not specifically for dementia-related caregivers, but it has some great resources if you are caring for a loved one. It shows you things you need to consider and resources for caring for someone else and also for caring for yourself. There's news-related articles related to caregiving. There's an events calendar, and there's also a frequently asked questions section, which is always very helpful. So those are just three. And like I said, there's probably, hundreds of internet websites that have just fantastic information for caregivers of dementia-related diseases. I'd like you to put yourselves in groups of 3 or 4, and we're going to just consider a situation and kind of brainstorm about what kind of thinking needs to go into decisions that you make. Let's say your mom has been living alone, but you've noticed some dementia signs. She's not able to shower and care for herself in the way that she was before. You're helping her with her shopping. You've noticed bills that are piling up that she's not taking care of, and it's just not safe for her to live alone. And you are maybe considering having her move in with you. And that's an attractive option because it doesn't cost nearly as much for them to move in with you. I mean, there are still money things to consider, but it's not like you need to have 10 grand to move her into a skilled nursing facility, or 6 grand or 3 grand to move her into an assisted living. And so sometimes it can look like an attractive option, but I want you to take just a few minutes and look at these 5 areas that you should consider if you're wanting a loved one to live with you. And I'll just do the first one as an example for you. Relationships. Do you have a good relationship with your mom? Does she allow you to help her? How does your family feel about that person moving into your home? Is it going to affect your ability to care for your family, other family members? So those would be some questions that you'd want to ask under the relationship portion. So adapting to your home, what kind of questions should you ask about your home? Would you need to install a ramp? Because you have stairs. Are your doors wide enough to accommodate a walker? Is your shower able to accommodate her abilities for taking a shower by herself? Do you need a handrail? So take a few minutes with the people that are sitting next to you and think about questions that you should ask yourself under each one of those categories. And then this resource down here from Family Caregiver Alliance, they give you a lot of questions underneath each one of those. sections and see how you did. Compare what you thought of, and maybe see if there's any questions that you didn't think about that would be helpful to think about. And before you leave today, there's a few things I want you to take away. Think about at the beginning when I asked you to tell the person sitting next to you why you're here today. That person is most likely going to be a caregiver community support for you. It's helpful to meet people that are in the same situation as you, that can lend some support and lend a hand, and maybe they've heard about a new resource that you haven't. You can share ideas and you can share your struggles. So that's really important when you're a caregiver for someone with dementia. It's really important that you know the signs to seek more medical help, to identify when they're having dementia-like symptoms so that they can be assessed. Internet resources. Familiarize yourself with all of the information and resources that are available online. Do some reading, take some time. You can even do it in small chunks and just find some really good resources on the internet that can be helpful for you. And then think about, when you're thinking about, the care for a parent or a loved one with dementia, is it going to be feasible to have them in your home? What kind of questions and resources do you need to look at if it's not going to be feasible? Familiarize yourself with assisted living facilities. What kind of questions do you need to ask them? What kind of legal matters do you need to put into place to help with monies that your loved one may have? Do you have the authority to help them pay for their bills? Or, just get a lot of information on questions that you should ask for those really important things. And before you leave today, please take a short survey of our brief dementia workshop and let us know how we can help you a little bit better. Thanks for participating today. And don't be afraid to say, hey, we need to talk.